Hello, welcome to Discovering My True North. My name is Kimberly. I'm here to tell you how I lost 131 pounds and went from having really high blood pressure to a normal blood pressure, having diabetes and an out of control A1C to having a completely normal A1C, lost 131 pounds. I had to lose 80 pounds in order to get both knees replaced. I did that and then I went on to lose more weight. And I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about how I did that, because I know there are a lot of people saying, how can I get off over 100 pounds or whatever it is you need to lose? And I'm here to tell you that it's not willpower. And I'm also here to say that willpower will get it off and then it will put it back on. And then it will take it back off, and then it will put it back on. And I've been doing this the majority of my adult life, doing Weight Watchers, the raw food movement, juicing, fasting, which fasting is probably one of the better contenders here, because it's kind of doing the same or similar thing as what I'm about to talk to you about, and that's controlling processed foods, eating low carb, eating on the low glycemic index, basically keto, the keto diet. And there's so many people that say, oh, I can lose weight in all these different ways. And you can. There are many different ways that you can lose weight. You can lose weight by calorie restriction. You can lose weight on a whole foods diet. You can lose weight by juicing, doing a juice diet. You can lose weight on the carnivore. You name it, you can do it, because it's basically calories in, calories out, which I know there's a huge discrepancy. Those are trigger words, but it's science, my friends. If you don't agree, it's okay. We don't have to agree. But I'm an expert. Yes, I said it. And I know that's also a trigger thing to say. I have a holistic nutrition coach degree with the Institute of Integrative Nutrition. Yeah, I think that's right. I've been doing this for a really long time. I've lost 100 pounds, I've gained 100 pounds. I've lost 100 pounds, I've gained 100 pounds. All in a very relatively short amount of time. I can say that I have continually been losing now and have maintained it for about 4 years. And yes, I found the Holy Grail. If you're one of those who you don't have the willpower and you're blaming yourself and you think you suck and you have no discipline, then this video is for you. This is something I felt about myself for a really long time. And you don't have to feel that way. What I'm about to tell you is pretty much the natural equivalent to the GLP shots. And you all can roll your eyes if you want. I give you permission to. But the GLP 1s, 2s, 3s, 10s, whatever, they're basically, their job is to decrease your appetite, make you not want to eat. What does that do? That decreases your calorie count, your calorie intake, because you don't want to eat anymore. Suddenly the food noise is gone. You're not having these horrible cravings anymore. And then when you do, you take a couple bites and you're like, oh, this really isn't it. I'm not hungry anymore. I lost the entire 131 pounds with no GLPs. That doesn't make me better than you. It makes it different. I tried them. I tried a couple of different ones. They made me very ill, and I only lost 4 pounds and gained it back. If you are on the GLPs and it's working, fantastic. I'm not here to judge. I'm just simply here for those who don't want to do the shots or the pills, the weight loss drugs, and you just want to keep this natural, or you've tried the other things and they don't work, much like me. So I will get into this. My highest weight, it was 360 pounds. Like I said, I went on several diets, gained it back within probably a year's time, not much more than that. And I've been sick. My blood pressure was extremely high. I've went into a couple of bouts of atrial fibrillation. My knees were destroyed under all the weight, and I ended up having to have knee replacements on both knees, which turned out perfect. If you need to have that done, just do it. If you need to lose weight first, then this is the video for you. I had to lose about 80 pounds before the doctors would even touch me. They said, you have to lose weight, you are high risk. And I know that's the story for a lot of people that I know personally, people in my family who are trying to lose weight so they can get their knees replaced. And the thing is, we say to ourselves, if I just had the willpower, I could get this done. Well, you're never going to have the willpower because you're working against the system. You're working against chemistry in your body that's not going to allow it. Yes, you can be motivated. The beginning of every project is started with motivation. We have all this gusto. I'm going to do it, dang it. I'm going to do it this time. Every night I said that to myself. I'm going to do it this time. And I would do it for a while. And then my body would fight against it because of the way I was going about it. And here's the thing. When you're eating processed foods, things that are high in sugar, then you are taxing your pancreas, which is what's happened to the majority of us. Let's face it, for years, there's probably a lot more 40s, 50s, and 60-year-olds watching this than anyone else, because we're the ones where our body says, fuck this. I wasn't going to say it, but I went ahead and said it. Our pancreas is tired. Our pancreas is in charge of producing insulin and processing all the sugar, and it gets tired, and then your body starts fighting against you and pushing it into your cells, which makes you gain weight, and it keeps you hungry. And the more sugar you eat, the hungrier you are going to be, and which is why you can start with motivation and you're white knuckling it, because we can do anything for a short amount of time, right? Kind of like with running. When you're doing sprints, you can't continually do sprints for an hour at a time. You do it for a short amount of time, and then your body says, okay, we need to rest. And this is what's happening. We go on these diets, these extreme, say, I'm going to decrease my calories. I'm going to go on this whole foods thing. And meanwhile, you're still eating all the carbs, legumes, root vegetables, all the things that contain all these starches. And this just makes you hungrier and hungrier and hungrier. And this because of the bacteria in your gut gets switched over to sugar bacteria. The little critters that live in here love sugar, because whatever you eat, your body is going to set you up for digestion. So when you're eating tons of carbs, your body is going to produce the little critters that eat the carbs. That's just the way it has to be. And then what happens when there's no food? Those critters say, I'm hungry, mama. Give me some food. I want some more of what you had last time. Because you have the critters in there that eat potato chips, pizza crust, cake, caramel bars, all the things. And so once you begin to cut all that out, then you lose your cravings, your appetite comes down to normal, and you're able to manage it long term. And that's why all these people on GLPs are so successful. We don't know what's going to come of it long term. There haven't been any long-term longitudinal studies because these drugs haven't been out that long. And so it is a risk. it's one that I was willing to take and I would take now, even so, if it didn't make me so sick. Because what makes you sick? Obesity, heart disease, diabetes, high blood pressure. There's a higher chance of cancer when you are obese, simply because there's more cells to get cancer in. It's pretty simple when you boil it down to that. And so the less fat cells, the less cells that you have, the less chance for risks for all these things. All the weight, I really was amazed when all the weight came off of me. When I got the 100 pounds off, I didn't even have to get the entire 130 pounds off, but I just began to go into the doctor's office, and it went from high blood pressure to only high, and then I'd rest for a while and it would come down to like 140 over 90. And then it got to the point when I finally got 130 pounds off, I went in and it was like 118 over 70. And my A1C is good. And all these wonderful things began to happen. It's like the body said, phew, thank God, thank God. But when you are eating sugar and all the things, your insulin is like a taxi cab driver, and its job is to get the sugar out of your bloodstream because it's very detrimental. A lot of sugar, this is why diabetes that is not managed well can cause eyesight problems. You will have a decline in your vision. Somebody very close to me actually went blind and could only listen to audiobooks because the diabetes just wreaked havoc on his body. He had heart damage because of it, massive heart attacks. He was about to go in for amputations, but he didn't get the chance because he passed away. He was only 53 years old, and I can say without a shadow of a doubt that it was all from complications to diabetes. Now, you may sit there and say, I'm not diabetic. If you're overweight, you're definitely struggling with insulin resistance, which just means that insulin is not being effective enough. It's not able to do its job because in the pancreas is what produces the insulin. It's not able to do its job anymore because the pancreas is just tired. We've put so much in it. So much sugar in it. And for so many years, people would say, sugar isn't what causes diabetes. They said in the early part of the century, they did. They say, they'd even call it sugar diabetes. But then it got to where for several decades, sugar was no longer the bad guy, that it was just something that you either got or you didn't. And then they found out it was from the obesity, but also it's just from eating processed food for so long. Is diabetes curable? It's debatable. I say yes. And I am the expert. Because I have seen so many cases and I have experienced myself that, and it's not solved yet, but I have went from like an A1C of like 12 or 13 to 5.7. And this is just from changing my diet. I'm not taking any medications. I've never taken any kind of diabetes medications, never taken insulin. I've never taken the other one I can't think of right now. For type 2 diabetes, I've never taken anything. Instead, I chose to just walk after I eat, and to keep carbs, processed foods, and sugar to a minimum. A lot of people who go on keto, they say, well, I can have 50 grams of carbs a day, but I usually keep it between 0 and 10, probably on the very low end of that, almost a carnivore diet. And when you eat more protein, you're going to be able to control it better. It also helps. Just to circle back around to dieting with calorie restriction that contains high carbs is just going to leave you in a constant state of hunger, because the hunger hormones are still just flying all over the place. Your blood sugar's up there, even if you're not diabetic. You're just going to be hungry all the time. And I remember going on all these diets. I would lose weight. I lost weight on a 100-day juice fast. I did it. I white knuckled it the entire time. I don't care what I may have told anyone. Oh, this is so easy. I don't remember saying that, but it was awful. It was really hard. Not only because it wreaked havoc on the digestion. It was a lot of acid. Even though it's an alkaline diet, there was a lot of just natural acid going on from the fruits and vegetables juices that I was making. But then also because there was so much sugar in it, it kept me in that state of just starving, just feeling like I'm starving. And this is why I would go on diets, go off of diets, and go on diets, and go off of diets. And I'm here to tell you it doesn't have to be like that. I've experienced 4 years of the keto diet, and I'm losing weight. I'm continually losing weight. It's not as rapid as I want it to be. I'm pretty frustrated. However, I'm not gaining it back. I have consistently kept going, and it's a slow grade, right? We want results and we want them now, damn it. That's why we can order something on Amazon and it's here by the afternoon. But look how many years I wasted trying to do these quick fix diets. I really wish I knew then what I knew now. I wouldn't have damaged so many things. I've had so many near-death experiences due to obesity. Preeclampsia, being pregnant when I was 350 pounds. No, I'm sorry if this offends anyone, but nobody has a business being pregnant when they're 350 pounds because it's a risk of death. My doctor told me that, and I know everybody's different. I don't think they're all that different, though. I really would venture to say, and I might get not kickbacks, I might get some buddy wanting to punch me in the face. But the truth of the matter is, it's very dangerous because when you're pregnant at 350 pounds, you're going to carry, supposedly they say 20% more of your body water because it has to support the uterus and the baby. So the more water you have, the higher your blood pressure goes. And then you're in danger. My heart was enlarged. My lungs were filling up with fluid because my heart couldn't keep up with it, couldn't pump it. So I ended up not being able to breathe. They had to put me on Lasix. This was only 3 days after I had the baby. My youngest, who's now 22, they had to give me Lasix and catheterize me because I was losing so much fluid so quickly. And they just had a bucket with the catheter going into it. And the nurses I had to call them in the middle of the night to come empty the bucket. That's how much it was coming off in such a fast pace that that's why they catheterized me. But anyway, so I nearly died from that. That was really, really scary. I really didn't think my kids were going to be able to grow up with me. I didn't think I would see them grow up. I took a trip to Europe with my oldest, and I thought that was going to be our last trip together. I couldn't hardly walk around. It was very scary, and I was only, I think, 40 at the time, or somewhere around there. And, and not to mention just the quality of life. My quality of life was just, I couldn't find love. I hated myself. I didn't realize, I thought I was just a failure and I couldn't do it. And that's what most people think. It's how they feel about themselves. And it's not even your fault. Have I messed up on this journey? Yes. Have I done perfectly? Hell no. I spoke in front of about 50, 75 people yesterday at a seminar and told them my story. I got a standing ovation. It was pretty cool. It was for work. It was this thing. We were talking about, challenges and things we've had through our life. But, people don't know what we have to face on a day-to-day basis. I couldn't even hardly get out of my chair. I had torn the meniscus in both knees. I was bone on bone. And I was trying to get this weight off. And I couldn't do it. It was a nightmare. About 3 to 4 years ago, I began to really stick to keto. And it just began to slowly come off. And I think that probably the majority of the people watching this could get it off way quicker than I can, or I was able to, because I have several immune diseases, or a few, fighting against me. Diabetes. I also have a malfunctioning thyroid. I have hypothyroidism, Hashimotos disease. I am postmenopausal, and you put all that together, and it is nearly impossible to lose weight. And it's like your body is fighting against you. And it's a very, very hopeless feeling. It's so hopeless. I would cry oft every night. I remember thinking to myself, oh, I didn't cry tonight. That's how often I cried. I cried every single night. I was lonely. I was sick. I didn't have the energy to do things with my kids the way I wanted to do. I raised my children. Luckily, there for a long time, I found a way to do things even when I was overweight, but it was really tasking on me. It was so taxing. I see you. If you're out there and you've completely given up hope. I'm 58 years old. I've been obese the majority of my adult life. I would say my majority of my life, because even as a child, I remember being in 5th grade, weighing 265 pounds. That's a lot for a child. I lost weight. I white knuckled it and lost weight right before I started dating my first husband. And things just went south. I lost a lot of weight and then I gained it all back. So it's been this story. I never maintained my weight loss for very long. Never 4 years. So I started the keto, and I'd lose weight. I would mess up. I'd have a week where I would just completely go off the rails, always around the holidays, right? And I said, well, I gotta have Christmas. I can diet the rest of the year, but just in that month, I'd gain at least 20 pounds. Christmas month. And so, it just never really worked. I was constantly just hungry, and then my emotions would run me. And anytime I had, and I still have emotional eating. I still do, but not having those massive cravings. Yes, I'll go, and I've had a pretty emotional week this week. So I kind of ate a lot of keto food. So I gained 6 pounds. I went back on keto, 2 days, lost it. Was that 2 pounds of fat? No, I didn't gain 2 pounds of fat either. It was water, from salt, from processed foods. And I went keto and it came off in a couple of days. So I guess what I'm saying is if you're menopausal, if you have Hashimotos or any kind of low thyroid functioning problems, if you have diabetes, those things feel impossible to get past, but they're not impossible if you do it the right way. You can absolutely get it off. And even I've messed up along the way, but it's not linear. It's been mostly pretty stable, but then I'll have a bloop here and there because I'm not perfect. I am human, and obviously, if I was perfect or not human, I wouldn't have been obese to begin with. I'd be some fit little robot AI thing running around. But I'm human. I'm still, I've gotten down to 229 now. I've lost another 6 pounds since I did my last video. So I'm really happy about that. So altogether, I've went from 360 pounds to 229 pounds, size 4X, to a size 14, which is just mind-boggling. I've been trying so hard to get these sizes down. And if you're big like I was, and you think, well, I couldn't do that, I probably won't be able to do that, what makes me think I'm going to do it this time? Well, if you have the right chemistry, you can make it happen. You have to have the right formula. And there's not one person that can't do this on low carb and some calorie restriction. You have to eat less than what your body requires to maintain its current weight. That's just the way it is. I'm sorry if there are people who disagree, but it's just how it is. People who are losing weight, not counting calories, it's because you're either just on a GLP drug, which, like I said, more power to you, and you're just not eating much, which means low calories. Or if you're on a whole food diet or a vegan diet or vegetarian diet, and you're eating a lot of roughage and you're just not getting the calories in, and that's how you're losing weight. But sooner or later, I bet you're going to be reaching for that Jimmy John's sandwich. And I have so many tricks up my sleeve now. It's, success really is planning. When you plan ahead, plan for those moments. I've been out so many times. I'm a huge eat-outer, restaurant eater, because I have a big social life. I love burgers. My friend just texted me and said, come over, I made a burger for you. I know she's keto, so she always has keto burger. Everything she has is keto. But when I know that my daughter's coming into town, or my friends we're going to see my friend, and he always wants a burger, I know that I'm going to bring the big purse. I'm going to pack the Lewis keto buns. The seeded ones are really good. You can get them at Walmart. And I'm going to replace the bun, and I'm going to look like a ding dong. I'd rather look like a ding dong in a size 14 than a ding dong in 4X. I'm going to copyright that. You can't have it. Companies. Okay, so you can do it. You absolutely can do it. I'm here 4 years doing it. And, like I said, I've went up and down by 5 and 10 pounds over the last 4 years. But then I'll go down even more. And my next goal is to be in Wonderland, because I'm at 229 right now. So I'm very excited. My ultimate goal is to be at about 170, because I'm 5'6.5", and I want to be a size 10. Of course, that's all, we will see. It's not written in stone, but it's just good to have rough goals, rough estimates of our goals. So the last thing I want to talk to you about is, since I've lost 131 pounds and I'm an expert after living my entire adult life, and you can sit here and say everybody's different. I'm pretty confident that if you're overweight, that you are insulin resistant. And I'm pretty confident, I'm very confident that you can do it the way I did it. And if you don't want to try the GLPs, or maybe you want to do what I'm doing plus the GLP, I want to invite you. I have officially began my weight loss coaching business. I still have 59 pounds to go, but I feel like I'm qualified to help someone because I've been coaching. I'm coaching my oldest daughter, my mom, friends at work, people at work. I've got people right now. I've got testimonials. People have lost 50 pounds, 30 pounds, 20 pounds. And I'm ready. I'm going to do this. I have a booming, budding, lovely career that I go to every day. That's where I'm at right now. And I'm not aiming to replace that career with weight loss coaching, but I want to live fully, and why not help other people? If I can, I will. And so I'm working on my website right now. So I will let you know. But if you really need help and you have been going for decades and it's not working, I can guarantee that I can help you. But anyway, this is all I have for now. I know it's been for those of you who are keeping up with me, who already know me, thank you for coming back. It has been an extremely busy 2 weeks or 3 weeks. How long has it been? Has it been 3 weeks? I want to be consistent. Life has been, whoa, there's a lot going on. I've been traveling, and life's been pretty busy, and work's been especially busy too this month. So anyway, my name is Kimberly, signing out. I'll see you on the flip side.